Today, we are going to tell you a very creepy horror story, one that will definitely send chills down your spine. This isn't a ghost story someone made up around a campfire. This is a real place, a real room, and something or someone inside it never left. The story takes us to Ashmore, Oregon, a small quiet town tucked between pine forests and mountains. Not much happens there, at least not anymore. Back in the late 80s and early 90s, Ashmore General Hospital was the heart of the town. It was where people were born, where people died, where families gathered and prayed. But in 1996, the hospital was abruptly shut down. The reason given was funding cuts and structural issues. But no one in Ashmore believed that. Locals would whisper a different reason behind closed doors. Nurses refused to talk about it. Doctors avoided the subject entirely. But the janitors say people who stayed in the hospital the longest late into the night told stories, and almost every story ended with the same room number, room 307. It was officially the medical records room, but everyone called it the crying room. Late at night, especially between 1:30 and 2 a.m., strange sounds would echo from inside, faint crying, the kind of soft sobbing you'd expect from a woman or worse, a baby. More than once, nurses claimed to hear someone whisper their name when they walked by. Others said that when you stood near the room, you'd feel like you were being watched from behind the filing cabinets. And then there was the cleaner, the one who quit after claiming that a hand reached out from the cabinet and grabbed his wrist. After that, the hospital slowly emptied out. Patients were relocated, staff resigned quietly, and one early October morning in 1996, the entire hospital was shut down without any warning. For almost 3 decades, the building sat abandoned. Nature began to reclaim it. Weeds grew up around the parking lot. Windows shattered. Rumors got worse. Kids dared each other to break in and spend a night inside. Some tried. None lasted past midnight. But in early 2023, Ashmore General reopened, not as a hospital, but as a training and research facility for medical students. The town was curious. Why reopen something everyone had forgotten? Why now? No one really knew who funded the project, but a private medical education group purchased the land and began digitizing historic medical records. Interns were brought in, students volunteered, some were local, most weren't. That's how Sarah Hampton arrived, a 23-year-old medical student from California. Smart, curious, calm under pressure. She wasn't from Ashmore. She didn't know the rumors. She didn't know about room 307. Her task was simple: scan and upload old patient files for archiving. And the records room assigned to her, room 307. Sarah's first few nights were uneventful. Room 307 was dusty, cold, and smelled like mold and paper. She brought headphones, listened to music while scanning hundreds of old files. Most of them were from the 80s, some from earlier. She'd often work alone until 2 or even 3 a.m. The hospital was quiet, too quiet. On the 4th night, something changed. At exactly 1:46 a.m., she took off her headphones for a break. That's when she heard it. A soft sound, like crying. At first, she thought it was the pipes or wind. But as she stood there, it got clearer. A low, muffled sobbing. She stepped away from her desk and turned on her phone's flashlight. She checked between the shelves, behind the door, even under her table. No one. She laughed it off and told herself she was just tired. But the next night, the crying came again. This time it was louder, more desperate, and this time there was a voice soft, broken, whispering, "Help me." She froze. Goosebumps ran up her arms. Her phone light flickered for a second, and then one of the files, an old manila folder from the top shelf, fell by itself. Sarah slowly picked it up. Name: Angela Reed. Admitted: the 2nd of March, 1983. Status: deceased. Cause of death: unknown. No certificate issued. Sarah had scanned hundreds of files, but she had never seen this name. She tried to look it up in the hospital's digital archive. No record found. Confused, she placed the file on her desk. That's when she noticed the room had gotten colder. She could see her breath. She pulled out her phone and started recording. She wanted to show her supervisor that the heating was failing, but when she played the video back later that night, her face went pale. In the background of the recording, just after she said, "It's freezing in here," a voice whispered back, "You're not supposed to be here." The next morning, Sarah showed the video to the supervisor, but the audio was gone. The whisper wasn't there. The cold didn't show up on any of the facility's logs. And the strangest of all, the file, named Angela Reed, had disappeared from her desk. She swore she left it right there, but it was gone. Her supervisor laughed it off, told her maybe she was dreaming, or maybe she fell asleep and imagined it. But that night, when she went back into room 307, something was waiting for her. As she entered the room, she noticed the lights flickered again. She reached for the light switch and paused. On the wall, just above the filing cabinets, someone had written her name in black ink, Sarah. She backed out, called security. When they arrived, the writing was gone. She decided she would not go back the next night, but she never made it to the next morning.